Hey, baseball fan, time for a little self-care and a few minutes of cardboard meditation. Welcome to the show that features some of baseball's oddest stories and the cardboard slabs that document them. Find peace and joy through baseball cards with your host, the big guy.
Good morning. You know, we love our rookie cards, don't we? Yeah, we do. I can't speak for everybody, but when I was a kid and I ripped the pack open and I got one of those cards that has the little trophy or the little loving cup on it, I was so excited because I just knew that I had a card that was going to be a superstar someday, some massive star. And I've got the card, the very first card that showed his promise with that little trophy or the little loving cup that was on it. Now, the backstory on these cards only dates back to 1959, when Topps started putting their selection of rookies together and noting their status as a prospect. The practice isn't all that old, says the old guy. Well, Topps Chewing Gum Company started to assemble the Topps All-Star Rookie Team by contacting the teams to get details on up-and-coming players. I'm wondering if they may have consulted with sports writers, minor league executives. I don't know. I don't really know how that worked. Topps made the right choices, though, for these awards. At least I feel so. Most of the players became everyday players. Some became stars, and others, well, it was the only card that was ever made of them, and they were out of baseball a year later. And then there were players that earned this award that went on to ascend to superstar status. In fact, 28 guys on the Topps All-Star Rookie Cup teams made it to the Hall of Fame. Now, to get a gold trophy on your card, you had to be a rookie the season before. A trophy on your card was awarded to the select players at their respective positions the previous year. This practice started in 1960, like I'd said before, and that was from the 1959 rookie season. So when you got them in 60, they were actually from 1959. The Topps Rookie All-Star team normally consisted of 8 position players and 2 pitchers, one left-hander and one righty. And you'll notice in later years, Topps would include other positions like designated hitter or relief pitcher. They even omitted positions in some years, even if they felt like the class was a little weak. I can't recall any of those. I'm sure they're there. I'd have to search and ferret that information out, but it kind of surprised me to find that out. In early years, the first team printed a special card design that included a trophy symbol of the batter on top of a hat and the phrase, "Selected by the Youth of America." I don't know if there was some kind of a voting that occurred back then or a special poll or even a focus group. I just found it weird that it says by the youth instead of for the youth of America, which makes more sense if the whole award system was created wholly by Topps. It didn't really matter, though, because by the second year, the cards had changed that trophy symbol and included a phrase, Topps 1961 All-Star Rookie. And the cards had that trophy design until 1973, when it changed over to the gold loving cup design that we all now know and love. Now, the gold cup stated Topps All-Star Rookie. Topps left the symbol off the 1974 cards, but the gold cups reappeared in 1975. The cup was off the cards again, then back on and then off again, and eventually came back and is still being used today, oftentimes in tandem with the little home plate RC design, noting that the card is indeed a rookie card. So these days, cards can have both features printed on their cards, and then maybe one or the other could be printed on their card the following year. It gets a little confusing because some of the players got a rookie card after they were a rookie, and the RC logo is on the card. Then Topps will hold back some rookies and includes them in an update set or for the base set the next year. So there's a lot of designs on the card and some designs off the card. So you just have to pay attention. In 2006, Topps and the Major League Baseball Players Association came to an agreement that to add the RC, or that rookie card logo, can only happen for the first-year cards for the players who are on the 40-man roster. So that little 40-man roster part was very important. So there's a lot of money in them there rookies, and that's why they do what they do. All right, we are going to take a look at some of the coolest rookie cards with that little trophy or loving cup on them by position, going all the way from 1960 to about 1990. So you ready? Hang on to your hat. Here we go. First base. There's the 63 Boog Powell. Although he's a rookie outfielder on this card, I chose to include him as a first baseman because that's where he eventually played and dominated for many years. I've moved other players into normal positions a couple of times in this program as well, so it just makes more sense. Here's Al Oliver from the 1970 set. Now, this is my favorite set, and Al was a great player. I just love this card. I hope someday he makes it to the Hall. Rusty Staub, another great player that is totally underappreciated. Eddie Murray, the gold standard for first baseman, also in the Hall of Fame. Mike Hargrove, steady ball player, also known as the human rain delay because it took him so long to get into the batter's box between pitches. And the great Willie McCovey, another Hall of Famer. This was one of the first cards with that special trophy listed on the front. Then there's Big Mac and the great Mark Grace. Second base, let's take a look at Davey Johnson. He's bunting and moving that runner. Good boy, Davey. I remember this card as being the first time I got acquainted with the word rookie. I had asked my dad, what was a rookie? Well, Mr. Johnson got a trophy for it. He must have been really good at being a rookie. That's the way I looked at it. Rod Carew, another Hall of Famer. Willie Randolph, Yanks' great second bagger. And Hall of Famer Joe Morgan from 1966. And Pete Rose was listed at second base, so that's where we left him. I think Pete Rose is the most memorable trophy card in the entire hobby. Let's go to third base. The hot corner picked up right here by Ron Santo, Richie Allen, Lee May, and Buddy Bell. These are some big slugger-type ball players you'd expect at third base. Bell's listed as an outfielder, but he made his career at third base. The catchers are legendary. Every one of these guys made an impact on their teams and in the league. All of them except Munson are in the Hall of Fame. Johnny Bench, Carlton Fisk, Gary Carter, and Joe Torre, although Torre was known more for playing third base. Munson died before reaching the mandatory 10 years of service in the league in order for him to qualify for membership in the Hall, but maybe someday, maybe. All right, let's take a look at the All-Star rookie shortstops. And kicking things off with Bert Campy Campaneris. 1965 card there. Look, he's got the Kansas City Athletics cap on. That's a pretty neat-looking hat. I'm always used to seeing him in the green and yellow, but I really love that card. It was always a great card to me. And then there's Don Money from 1970. And then Larry Boa, who was also a shortstop, like a year later. So they had back-to-back shortstops coming up out of their farm system. Larry Boa. Chris Spire was also a shortstop in 72, played very well for a long time. And then we end things with Bucky Dent, a hero to some, a bane and a curse for others. Looks pretty good, though, there, doesn't he? Looks kind of harmless. Now for the outfielders, I had to create two teams here because there were so many cards, and I left a lot of players out. It was a challenging endeavor. Team 1, two Cubs back-to-back, the great Billy Williams and Bill Mad Dog Madlock. Fred Lynn, who won Rookie of the Year. Jose Canseco, Gary Sheffield, and then the Hawk, Andre Dawson, and the Slugger, Bobby Bonds. For Team 2, it wouldn't be a proper list of outfielders if it didn't have the kid listed. Ken Griffey Jr. comes up first, then Jim Rice, Wally Joyner, the consistent slugger Tony Oliva, Tommy Harper, Devon White, and Shake and Bake McBride. Now, let's end this list with the pitchers. The great Hall of Famer Terrific Tom Seaver, Fireballer Frank Tanana, the Bird Mark Fidrich, and Jim Abbott. Now, there are perhaps 100 more cards containing all that printed hardware on the front of the card, some of them deserving to be included on my lists. However, there just wasn't enough room or time for everybody. I'm curious, though, who would you include and who would you leave off if you had to make this list? I'd like to know. Let me know in the comments section. This was fun. Tomorrow is the All-Star Game, so join me before you catch the game and see my final All-Star program. We're going to look at those send-in cards. Remember those? The All-Star send-in cards from the 80s? They were beautiful. Some of them had the small border, but almost a full bleed card, and they were beautiful. So we're going to take a look together. And happiness is not something that people bring to you. You've got to find that yourself. So bring happiness to your life with baseball cards. Thank you, and talk soon.
Cardboard meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.